Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 NCAA Division II Football Championship Virtual Kickoff Press Conference. Glad to have you. A couple of ground rules. First off, you will all be muted here in the opening portion of our press conference. When we do take questions later on after our opening comments from our head coach, we will open it up for your questions. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions at that time. Once again, on behalf of the Lone Star Conference and McKinney ISD, I'd like to welcome you and offer congratulations to both of our national finalists for their success of advancing to this national championship game. This year marks the 48th NCAA Division II National Football Championship. We're excited the game's returning to McKinney ISD Stadium after a one-year pause due to the pandemic. It will be broadcast this Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Time live on ESPNU for those who cannot make the game here in McKinney, Texas. This 2021 National Championship game is a rematch of the game 3 years ago, the first in 2018 held in McKinney, and it features the Ferris State Bulldogs and the Valdosta State Blazers. The Bulldogs are making their second appearance in the championship contest, while the Blazers are in the game for the sixth time in program history. They are four-time national champions. Our first national finalists we're visiting with today will be represented by head coach Gary Goff, and that's, of course, Valdosta State. They're the number one seed from Super Region 2. The Blazers are 12-1 overall, and again, they are in their sixth NCAA championship game. Valdosta State won the last time they came to McKinney ISD Stadium. It was a thrilling 49-47 game against the same Ferris State Bulldogs. Valdosta ranks first in the country in total offense with a rushing attack that ranks fifth nationally. The Blazers advanced to the championship game with a home win against Colorado School of Mines. Coach Goff, congratulations to you, your student athletes, and your staff. Would you please make a few comments about your team and your thoughts on facing Ferris State this Saturday in McKinney?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. It's been a magical season. So proud of our team, our coaching staff, administration, everybody involved. It's a special moment to get to this point of the year and all the hard work that's gone into it. I know it's going to be a rematch of 2018. You got two great teams going head to head. Ought to be a lot of fun. You got the top two offenses in the country going at it, and you got two programs that defense are stingy and play extremely hard. But the thing I'm most happy about is us getting to this point. When we walked off the field in 2019, we made one mistake that we felt like possibly could have cost us a national championship. And our team, since we walked off the field in 2019, talked about we were going to continue to work hard and be very disciplined and make sure that we didn't let anything be unnoticed and continue to work extremely hard and, become a great team together, become really a family type atmosphere. And I felt that over the last, 18 months or so that our team has bonded together through the COVID, through the transfer portal, through all the adversity we've been, sent our way, and just extremely proud of how hard everybody's worked to get to this point. It should be a great week of practice for us all, and it should be a great game Saturday.
All right. Thank you, Coach Goff, for those opening comments. We'll now take questions from the media. Again, we don't have the raise hand function available in today's thing, so simply unmute yourself and ask your question to head coach Gary Goff.
Hi, Coach. Wayne Cavati, Turner Sports. I wanted to get started. Let's talk about Ivory. Looking at his last 5 or 6 weeks, he was a great player from the start, don't get me wrong, but last five or 6 weeks, you look at those completion percentages, you look at the touchdown passes, he's playing with a lot more confidence, it seems like, and probably his best football. Just what have you seen as a coach as he's maturing throughout the season?
Yeah, start off by saying, Ivory is a football junkie. He loves the game. He loves studying the game. He after running him off the practice field at times, saying you've done too much, go take a break. But he loves the game. But more importantly, he loves being in that leadership role. And I think he's flourished at that leadership role. He's held his teammates accountable. He's held himself accountable, which I'm very, very proud of. But he's definitely a dynamic player. He is a quarterback, a true pocket passer first. A lot of people don't understand that or realize that because he's so athletic and so fast. and he's explosive, but it's been fun to watch him throughout the season get better week in, week out. And for a young man who's played a lot of football up until the season, at least collegiately, he has not been the starter. And, there's a lot on your shoulders when you're the starting quarterback, especially in our offense and at Valdosta State. And I think he's flourished in the moment and continue to work hard each and every week. And if he keeps playing like he's been playing, the sky's the limit for that young man. And in my opinion, he is the Harlan Hill winner. I mean, I know he's not the finalist or anything, but he's been playing like that for really like the last 6 weeks. So I'm very happy of the young man's production.
Hey, Coach. You kind of mentioned it in your opening statement too, just about how, that early exit in 2019 really served as motivation these past couple of years, I guess, if you take out 2020, just to see the work ethic in your players this season and just you look at the box scores every week, just what has really impressed you up until this point that might have been maybe that secret sauce that has led you all to the national championship again?
It's kind of funny. LC Gallimore, our receiver, made a comment to me just Saturday as we were leaving the press conference. He said, "Coach, you remember in 2019, me and you were walking to this same press conference, and we were all kind of teary-eyed and shocked because we had such a good team, and we just didn't finish it." He goes, "You remember what we said to each other?" And I said, "I do." I said, we said, "We're never going to let this happen again." He goes, "That's right, Coach," and we didn't let it happen. Again, I just think the secret sauce is we really felt like we let possibly another national championship slip through our hands on one play. We really had one mistake on one play that kind of cost us that. That next week in my office, all of our upcoming seniors were waiting for me in my office, and they said, "Coach, we got you from here. Everybody's bought in. We're going to handle all the things off the field so you don't have to worry about those things. We're going to make sure that from top to bottom, the entire team is doing what is expected and hold each other accountable." So I think that kind of planted maybe the seed for this group of young men to we're not going to be denied. Then you throw in the COVID year, and we had 16 seniors that could have left. They could have left and started their careers and their lives, but they wanted to come back and be part of something special. So we kind of reminded each other of that day in, day out, that we're here for a reason. I always kind of mentioned to them, hey, God brought us all here for a reason. Coaches, players, everybody, everything. And he brought us here to be special. And I think that each and every one of us have bought into that and believed it. So, I think that's kind of the secret sauce. And it took some adversity, and which led us to this point, but it's made us stronger.
Hey, Coach. It's Allison. No camera on right now, but just you talked about it on Saturday, kind of the lack of sleep, the excitement, the anticipation. What have the last couple days been like for you, and have you gotten a little more sleep than you have leading up to this point?
It's been a blur, and I think I told you Saturday. I said we got to start game planning right now. But that's okay. But the excitement, understand that there's only 2 teams left out of the 164 programs across the country. That's all the adrenaline rush you need right there to continue coming to work bright and early and working hard. And you got to understand, this is very few get to this point. And in some ways, maybe these 2 programs both are kind of spoiled because they've been so good and won so much, and the expectations are to be here in this game. But I reminded the staff and the team, really Monday morning that, hey, we're going to work extremely hard this week. We're not going to do anything different than be ourselves and be focused. But at the same time, let's make sure we enjoy this. I don't want any of us to go through this and not enjoy this experience and being in the championship game. And I just want, kind of put that pressure off them a little bit. And the good news for us is we got some guys who've been here and done it. But the excitement has been buzzing through the offices since Sunday. We're going to have a great practice today and tomorrow before we get on the plane to head to Texas. But it's a magical moment. It's going to be a magical week for sure.
Hey, Coach, Ryan Kelly from WCTV here. Just wanted to ask, you mentioned it, some guys have been in this moment before. What have the guys who were on that 18 squad told you what it was like about going up against Ferris?
Um, not a whole lot, to be honest. I've coached against Ferrets for about 5 years. I know what they do. I know how talented they are. I know they're very well coached. But the guys that were there in 18 and won it all, they're the guys that are going to carry us. They're the guys that know that once we get there, there's going to be a lot of hectic stuff going on, but we must stay focused. But they're confident because they've been there. They know what to expect. Of course, you talk to Brian Sons and LC, and a lot of those guys have been there, done that, and they're always confident anyway. It doesn't matter if we're lined up playing the Atlanta Falcons. It's the guys are going to be locked in. I know that they already are, and they're going to have a great week of practice.
Coach, you talked about getting lack of sleep, planning for Ferris State's quarterbacks that they could throw 3 different very talented quarterbacks that kind of approach the game differently. Is that keeping you up at night? And how do you plan for that?
Well, I'm worried about the entire program. I'm also the one trying to score points. So, if my DC was sitting here, he'd probably tell you, I haven't slept a wink. Me and him joked this morning coming in the office. I said, hey, did you sleep at all? He goes, no. But they're talented. They are. They got 3 weapons back there. Each of them brings a different element to their offense. And in a lot of ways, their quarterback is very similar to Ivory Durham. I mean, he's an explosive player. He can throw and he can run. But what they do offensively is a handful for anybody. And that's why you've seen them be so successful the last 4 or 5 years.
Hey, Coach, in your opening statement, you called this season a magical one. What do you mean by that? How has it been a magical season?
Well, I just think, first, from top to bottom, the entire team has, bought into our culture, has bought into holding themselves accountable first and then holding their teammates accountable. So therefore, you got less distractions, especially those distractions off the field. So very, very proud of them for that. But, I think to get to this point, you've got to be really good. Both teams are. You got to have the ball bounce your way a couple times. I think both teams have had that happen, definitely. And then you kind of got to have, that laser focus. And you think about it, these young men have been going at it for going on 17 weeks now. And that's a long, long season for the student athletes, but I'm proud of them. There hasn't been one day where they showed up and have not been excited about being 1-0 that week. And I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been part of flipping a program that has never won. And that's difficult. And now on the other spectrum, I'm fortunate enough to be the leader of a program that has won a lot, and expectations are high. I think that the team and the coach staff have done a great job of embracing those expectations, and not letting the pressure get to anybody and just going out and working extremely hard day in, day out. So I think that's what I mean by it's been a magical season. We've had a lot of things where our teams continue to work hard and push the adversity to the side. And like I said, you got to have the ball bounce your way some here or there.
Hey, Coach, it's Allison again. Just you're a product of Valdosta State. I mean, I know coming back to coach your alma mater meant a lot to you when you were hired a couple of years ago. You were kind of part of that group that helped lay the foundation for this team many years ago. But what is it like to coach them? And is it a little extra special because you are a Blazer?
Oh, 100%. I mean, 100%. I mean, the amount of texts and phone calls that me and my wife were getting Saturday nights. I mean, I stopped answering some of them just because it was out of control for a while. It does mean a lot. I mean, my wife's an alum here. We met here. We had an unbelievable experience here as students, and I never dreamed of being a head coach. I didn't want to coach college football. I was in the business world out of school. Coach Mummy wanted me to get into coach, and I told him, no, I'm going to be a businessman and make some good money. And that didn't happen. I did not like my job straight out of college. And I got into high school coaching with the help of, Hal Mummy. And doors continue to open for us. I still never thought I wanted to be a head coach. I just wanted to be a good assistant coach and be an offensive coordinator. And things just continue to happen. So it's been an unbelievable ride. And yes, because I was part of the first ever conference championship here, and the coaches I played for and then later on worked with, they all had a piece in this amazing journey of mine as a coach. So yeah, me and my wife were pretty emotional there Saturday night once we kind of sat down and kind of looked at each other and kind of took everything in and kind of looked back about where we've all come from.
As a follow-up to that, Coach, have you talked to Coach Mummy or Coach Leach about this moment, and have they said anything to you, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, Leach texted me about 3 or 4 times there Saturday night, and typical Leach fashion, he said, "I'm your biggest fan. You're a stud." And I texted him back and said, "Coach, I appreciate you." And then he said, "What are you doing on offense?" And I just kind of laughed. But no, they both have been big supporters, and they both, this is, where both their careers kind of started early on in their careers, and so they still have a lot of pride in Valdosta State, and they're always watching what Valdosta State's doing.
And I guess, if you look back at last week in that semifinal matchup, while these blowout wins that you have had are really nice to have, sometimes, you look at these close games and that adversity might help you in practice. So while, you committed a couple of turnovers on offense, just how important might it be to have had that close game while at a victory heading into this last week?
Well, yeah. I mean, a blowout's a lot easier for all of us, fans included, right? And we know this. We know that if you make mistakes in these big games, the margin of error is very, very small. You just can't. It could be one turnover that costs you. So I'm not happy about that. We're going to continue to address that all week long yet again. But I also do believe that when you face adversity, you can learn from it, and hopefully it helps you in the following week or throughout the rest of the season. And we did have some of that, especially towards the end of the season. We had some adversity thrown at us, and it's always a challenge of, how are you going to react to that adversity? As long as you learn from it and you kind of try to take the positive out of it, then you can move on. But if you dwell on it or sit there and well, we're just not that good, or I'm just not very good at hanging on the football, it's probably going to happen again. So yeah, in a weird way, I mean, a win's a win. I've always said that, as long as we're winning, I don't care if we win 3-0 or we win 50-55. A win's a win. But you're right. I do think the adversity can help you if you manage it the right way.
Hey, Coach, Nathan Harrell here for The Spectator. We've seen all season how diverse your offense is with how many weapons you guys have, but facing one of the best defenses in Division II, what are some of the challenges that you guys anticipate facing in this championship game?
Well, I feel like every week we're facing the best defense in Division II. I mean, we have it's Bowie State, or it's Colorado School of Mines, or it's West Georgia, or it's West Florida. It's somebody that's top 10 in defense. And Ferris State's the same. They are a really, really good defense. They have not given up very many explosive plays all year long. They are machines as far as creating takeaways. So, offensively, we got to make sure that we can, get back on track for protecting the football. I thought we did a really good job with that all season long until last week. So we got to get back to our ways on that. But, if Ferris is big up front, they're physical up front, their secondary can run. So we're going to have to kind of be creative for creating some mismatches here and there. And then we also got to utilize the run game. I think while we've had such an explosive offensive season is because, we got 3 backs that they're all going to rush for 1,000 yards. And then we got 2 receivers that have caught for over 1,000 yards receiving. So, we're dynamic as far as if you're trying to take away the run game, then we've got some throws downfield and vice versa. So we got to continue with that recipe right there against this defense. If we do those things, then, it should be a great ball game. But again, it's going to come down to, in my opinion, on who turns the ball over and who doesn't.
Coach, just taking things in. You talked about it a little earlier. I mean, obviously you want to appreciate it for what it is. What will you guys do over the next couple of days? And obviously it's a business trip, but how much do you want to appreciate the moment and make sure these guys take it in?
Yeah, and that was my message to them. It is a business trip. We're going to have a great game plan. We're going to be focused. However, let's just play extremely hard. I don't want anybody uptight. I don't want anybody, thinking, oh my gosh, we're on this big stage and I don't want to mess up. you can't play that way. Let's just go out there and play extremely hard. But I do want them to enjoy the moment, enjoy the work that them and their families have put in to get to this point. So we'll have practice this afternoon. It'll be a typical Tuesday practice. So we'll go for about an hour and a half. We've cut back practice this time of year. And then we'll do the same thing tomorrow morning. We'll have a practice around 10 o'clock in the morning, about the same hour and a half practice. And these will be our 2 big work days. You know, we'll be in helmets and shoulder pads the next 2 days. And then we'll leave Wednesday afternoon and get to McKinney, Texas, somewhere around 7 o'clock. And we'll have, dinner, then some meetings. And then Thursday is kind of where, the schedule is a full day schedule for the players and coaches. But, we'll still have our typical Thursday practice, our Thursday meetings in between some of the events. And then the same thing again on Friday. So as far as their meetings and practice, it'll be a normal week as far as that's concerned. We'll just have some community service projects involved, and then obviously a function with the entire team on one of those nights. So, I like where my team's at. They're a mature team. They'll handle themselves the right way on this trip. And you're right, it's a business trip, and they've done a great job of that all season long.
Coach, you mentioned a little bit earlier, there were a lot of seniors that could have went to the workforce. They could have graduated. They could have left. They could have done a lot of things over this last year. For them to be rewarded for coming back and working as hard as they have with another shot at a national championship, just how excited are you for them?
Oh, very excited. I mean, I've always told student athletes, hey, do not be in a hurry to graduate and get into the real world. The real world is not fun. If I could go back and play and then go back to my senior year, I'd do it again right now. I'm extremely happy for these guys, and our seniors are great people who are going to be very successful no matter what they do. Y'all all know Brian Sons. I mean, he's going to be a mayor somewhere just because he likes being in front of the camera and he thinks he can do anything. But Nick Moss, Montrell Jefferson, I can go all the way down. Every one of these seniors are great young men and are going to be very successful when their playing careers are over with. So the fact that they chose to come back and be on the team, be with their teammates and coach staff, I think is phenomenal. And that means a lot to me.
All right, Coach Goff, we appreciate the comments that you've had for us. We've just about run out of time. My word of advice as a lifelong Texan is about the weather. The weather, they always say in Texas, if you don't like it, it will change. Okay. So expect Georgia weather during the practices on Thursday and Friday, with temperatures probably in the mid-70s, with the forecast calling for. Forecast for game time, though, 8 o'clock Texas time, maybe more Michigan weather in the 40s. So everyone, I'm just trying to give everybody preparation, be prepared. All
Absolutely.
Right, thank you again, Coach Goff. That concludes the first part of our virtual kickoff press conference with Valdosta State. At this time, we'll need everyone to close out the Zoom meeting. And if you'd like to be on the press conference with Ferris State, just click on the second link provided to you and join us in our next session, which will begin promptly at the half hour. Thank you again, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you.